Alright guys, today we're reviewing Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Ecker. This was our Royals 42 book club for the month of December 2024. Shout out for Rashad for the recommendation. And this is actually a really good book for a few reasons. It talks about mental blocks and limiting beliefs, and more importantly, conditioning around money and why you're probably not a millionaire already, right? If you're a millionaire, congratulations, you've made it. And what I like about this book is, first of all, it's really short. It's only something like 220 pages. So it's not going to take you too long to read, but the lessons are very powerful. So the first one it talks about is your financial blueprint, okay? This is basically almost like your childhood trauma related to money. This is what your parents have instilled in you. This is if your parents were, penny pinchers, then this is in you. If your parents were splurging and couldn't do finances, is in you. And to rewrite that is probably going to take quite a bit of effort. And if you haven't already, you're probably just reliving patterns, right? Humans are very weird in that regard. For example, for me, when I was in high school, my mom used to tell me I was going to be broke working at McDonald's because in high school I used to play a lot of League of Legends and would skip school to play. I guess she tried to say that to motivate me, but I still have these weird hang-ups around money, and I feel almost more confident in my broke identity versus my ambitious entrepreneur productive identity. This is why this book was really cool for me, and it's something that's been holding me back for years. I was literally, broke all throughout my 20s. I'm 29 now, and I'm just trying to finally figure this out for myself. The next one is thoughts, feelings, actions, results. Once again, this is really about your subconscious mind, not so much your thoughts, because I don't know if you guys have done this before, but if you talk to people, almost everyone wants to be rich, right? Or thinks they're going to make a lot of money and stuff. But subconsciously, it's a big of a difference. A lot of times, our feelings comes from our thoughts, right? So you think, okay, cool, I'm going to make a lot of money. But that thought leads to, wait, why do I want a lot of money? Fuck, I'm broke right now. That gives you anxiety and fear, and then you avoid doing work. You end up watching porn or watching YouTube or TikTok or Instagram Reels instead of actually working because your subconscious mind just flooded you with cortisol and anxiety instead of actually motivating you to work, right? This is why this book has a lot of, I was going to say incantations, but like manifestations, like, I have a millionaire mind. I don't make excuses for my thing. And he makes you say it over and over again to kind of brainwash you towards success. Because we're not taught these things, right? Poor people or the average people, it's kind of like rich dad, poor dad. He makes a difference between poor people mindset and a rich people mindset. And a lot of it is about not making excuses. You see a lot of people make excuses for everything. They blame the government, they blame women, they blame their parents, they blame the system. You see it especially on Reddit. If you go on Reddit right now, there's a huge leftist sentiment where, it's anti-system, anti-Trump, anti-something. And there are, of course, many systemic issues in the world, but collective outcomes are not the same as individual outcomes, right? It's not because taxes are high and there's not that many jobs that you cannot become a millionaire or a billionaire, right? How many hours have you worked this week on your business? How many cold calls have you done? How many products have you sold? Do you have a service figured out? These are all questions that empower you versus wondering about, in Canada right now, we have the elections coming up April 28th. Instead of wondering about if Carney or Pierre Poilievre is going to win, worry about your business. How's your cash flow doing? Okay. How many people are working with you on a weekly basis towards your goals and dreams, right? These are questions that empower you. There's many books on this. You can read Relentless. This was our book, February, that I'll be making a review on soon. Very important book. There's books like Taking Ownership. I think that's by Jocko Willink. And the more excuses you make, the more, the poorer you'll be. A good example here, which is especially poignant if you're a woman watching this, I don't know if you've ever seen men that blame women for their issues, and I'm sure you get like a visceral feeling of like disgust when you hear that, Imagine like a male friend that that's kind of like blaming you for being shallow for not fucking him or something like that. Like how creepy and weird would that be? Instead of that guy turning himself into an attractive man, working out, working on his business, getting a wide social circle, doing cool stuff with his life. Instead of that, he complains about gold diggers and manipulative women and entitled women. Like how cringe would that be? And if you're that guy in that situation, imagine if you had zero excuses ever relating to dating or money. Imagine if you thought about dating influencers and celebrity, and instead of talking about how shallow they are, they're just posting pictures, fuck the OnlyFans girls, you just became one of the most valuable men that you knew, one of the most valuable men in your city. How much of a difference that would make for you. Let me tell you, as someone that's embarked on this journey, it makes a world of a difference. I'm now getting interest from women that I that blow my mind, dude. That literally I'm in awe how hot they are. And it's just the beginning. I'm just dipping my toes into it. So that's why for me, getting rid of limiting mindsets to be able to achieve my goals is so important, okay? Taking ownership. And another key point was actually not being afraid of self-promotion. A lot of poor people, middle class people, working class people have kind of like this crab in the bucket mentality. And if you promote yourself, you sell a product, you share something cool, a lot of times, maybe your friends and family, they'll leave you like a little snarky comment, a little snarky DM, or even random people, And I guess there's many reasons for this, but it's tribalism, You don't want to see people subconsciously getting more powerful than you. A lot of times it makes you feel weak and fear. I've had these feelings relating to other people, and then that caused me to be entitled and bitter. And I had to, literally meditate on that. Like release these feelings, release my trauma, release my feelings of helplessness, of neediness, and just now I'm able to be proud for these people, being excited. Now when I watch a dude flexing in Dubai, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm so excited to be in Dubai. Now, like, fuck that dude, he's so materialistic, when I see entrepreneurs killing it in Bali, I'm like, dude, I cannot wait to be in Bali, to go to these entrepreneur events, to go to these retreats. I want to do a fight there, I've started training a little bit now. I work out every single day. I used to kind of be envious of, fit guys, but that's going to be me soon enough, because I stopped making excuses and now I work out every single day. If I can do it, you can too, I'm an INTP. I think I'm the type least likely to work out. Out of the 16 personalities, my type is the least likely. So if I can do it, you literally can do it. It's a science. You got this, okay? One of the last points that I thought was super awesome about empowering yourself is being bigger than your problems. What do they say? The more money, more problems, or the bigger the man, the bigger the problems. It's true, man. And I see a lot of friends and stuff having people online, these little problems, man. Like just not being able to get a girl on a date, or not knowing how to make money or start a business. And then you send them a video on how to fix those problems and they ignore it, It's like literally like a little demon or a mental block or something around fixing the problems. And it's much easier to complain and to be a victim and to blame people than to actually fix problems. Fixing problems is hard. It's the hardest thing in the world. That's why we don't have a perfect utopian society, right? But if you want big results in your life, you have to be bigger than that. And you have to, business and money is just solving problems at scale for other people, right? So if you want to make $1 billion, you got to solve $1 billion worth of problems, and probably more than that, because supply and demand. Like usually you have to offer more value that you're getting paid, but that's part of the game. So if we're going to solve the biggest problems that we have right now, like world peace, like global hunger, like income inequality, then we're going to have to be big people and solve these problems and not externalize them to other people. I don't think Trump is going to solve that. I don't think Putin's going to solve that. I don't think Europe is going to solve that. It's the people that are going to have to utilize these tools and AI and become leaders and solve this. This is a commitment that I'm making to you guys, that I'm going to try to solve these problems and be an impact to the world and my society and the people. And you should as well. Otherwise, you're either a follower or you're a victim or you're a loser. A loser not in an identity way. Not like you're a loser, you'll be a loser forever. But just that you're losing at life, Life is beautiful when you're in abundance, when you have power, when you're doing cool things with cool people. Having ideas that materialize in the world. One of the biggest struggles that I had in my 20s is I had all these cool ideas and hopes and dreams, and I have the work ethic, and I have the experience, and I have the skill set to really actualize these ideas and this potential that I had, right? So I was always the underachiever. It was very depressing and traumatic, let me tell you that. So as I'm getting older and more efficient and dropping my vices and my bad habits, I'm becoming bigger than my problems, and it feels fucking phenomenal, let me tell you that. So this is a good book. I don't think it's phenomenal. I think it's good. I would rate it something like 6 out of 10. But yeah, check it out. Harv Ecker. What's good about it is you can read this probably in a week, maybe in a few days if you're really motivated. But it's gonna let you get rid of your mental blocks. And if you think that you're kind of like, just meant for a 9 to 5 and to make only, a little bit of money, maybe 60K, I'll be happy, then, have a millionaire mind, dude. If they can do it, why can't you? Why can't us? I will. Hopefully you will as well, okay? Catch you guys later. And comment below if you want to join our book club, or DM us at Royals42 Book Club on Instagram, and we'll see you guys there.